Hello class. I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do the next glow assignment. For this assignment, you're going to be taking a picture of a subject. It doesn't have to be a portrait. It could be of anything. Just use the photography skills that your teacher has taught you, or try to find the best lighting possible. You kind of want to have one light source on pointing towards your subject, and you want the back to be kind of dark. So in this case, the room is kind of dark, but Kiwi is facing the door, which has light bleeding through. Don't make the light too harsh. You don't want harsh reflections on her face or on your subject. You want it to be kind of already dramatic when you take the picture, or have a decent amount of shadow in your picture. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to make this dramatic, even more dramatic than it already is. You can do this in Snapseed if you want, but I recommend you learn how to do this in photopea. So we're going to go to our background. I'm going to hit Control L, or if your photo is on a new layer, just click on that layer. We're going to go to our cat, press Control L. We're going to change the levels here. We're going to move the white square to the left a little bit, move the black square to the right just a tad bit, and press OK. And you can see that it's already starting to get a little dark back here. We're going to make a copy of this, so right click, duplicate layer. We're going to turn this background off. We're just going to keep this as a we don't want to mess with this one. I just want to see it. We want to see it before and after. So we're going to mess with this one now. What we're going to do now is we're going to make a copy of this one. So right click on that, duplicate layer. We're going to go to image up here to where my mouse is. Image, the first option, adjustments. We're going to go to gradient map all the way down here. Press OK. Now from here, what we want to do is press Control L. We want to make this a little dark, so we're going to move this to the left a little bit, and the black box to the right a little bit. Press OK. Adjust this to your liking. It doesn't have to be exactly how I do it. Just do it however you want to do it. Just make it dramatic. Okay? Go to normal. We're going to change the blend mode from normal to hard light, I think. Yeah, we're just gonna change it to hard light, and we're gonna decrease the opacity from 100% to, let's say, we'll do 60%. So before, after, before, after. And then from here, we can merge these two layers. So we're going to shift click on the bottom one, right click, and then go to merge layers down here above flatten image. Go to merge layers, and now you should have this background copy. Now we're going to copy this background copy too. So right click on that, hit duplicate layer, And then what we want to do is we want to go up to image, adjustments, go to gradient map, press OK, go back up to image, adjustments, we're going to go to hue and saturation, we're going to click on colorize, move the saturation to your liking, so I'm going to go around 20, and then we're going to change the hue to I'm going to change it to something cool. If you're doing a face, I recommend you change this hue to an orange. So adjust it to an orange. Actually, I'll adjust this one to an orange as well. So adjust it to an orange. Keep the lightness at 0. Press OK. Change the blend mode of that layer to, we'll change it to multiply. We're going to decrease the opacity to around, let's do 50%. So now we have something that looks like this. It has a little bit more character to it. It does seem dark, so if you want to, you can erase some of this stuff out. Or you can add an adjustment layer. But I'm just gonna mask this by going down to the rectangle tool with the circle inside. Click on that. I'm gonna go to my brush tool, decrease the opacity or the hardness to 0. Up here, I clicked on this. Increase the size to around that subject's size, or the face of that subject, or wherever you want the light to hit. So I'm going to do that. Change your color to black. Press OK. Decrease your flow to around 10%. I'm going to do 11%. And then just start erasing some of the stuff away from your cat. I'm gonna keep this like that, but just gonna start erasing some stuff out. So I think that should be fine for me. And now what you can do is group everything together. So you can select the top layer, shift click the bottom layer, hit the new folder button down here, and all this should be grouped together now. Now what we want to do is we want to bring in our glowing objects. For me, it's the moon. Yours could be anything. So I'm going to bring in my moon. New folder. Yeah. You can hold down Alt Shift and then drag from one of the corners. And I'm just gonna put it in front of his face. Or her face. This is a female cat. Alright. And we're gonna duplicate this layer. I'm sure you guys know how to do this now. Duplicate this layer. We're going to change this copy to screen. It's right here. We're going to go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Leave it at 7.2. Press OK. We're going to duplicate this one. So right click, duplicate layer. Go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, change this to around 20, press OK, right click, duplicate layer. Ooh. Why is there two of these? Okay, so okay. So we're gonna go right click, duplicate layer. We're gonna, don't go up here, click on your Gaussian blur down here, and you can increase that to around 20. Press OK. Right click on that, duplicate the layer, go down to your Gaussian blur right here. It should be a smart filter. If not, then yeah, go up here to filter, Gaussian blur, or blur, Gaussian blur. But mine are down here, so, and yours should be too. So double click on that, increase the radius to around 50 this time, and just keep increasing it. You can stop there, but I'm gonna make mine a little bigger. Change mine to, this one's gonna be around 200. Press OK. Duplicate. Increase to around 400. Press OK. And now we should have a whole bunch of moons, and we did lose a lot of detail in our moon. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down to the moon that we imported, the one with no filters or anything. We're gonna right click on that one, hit duplicate layer. We're gonna bring that copy all the way up to the top, and it should look something like this, but we're gonna change that to from normal to hard light, and it should look something like this. This is a little too harsh, so we're going to decrease the opacity to around, we'll do 50%, and that looks way better. Now we're going to select all our moons. So with this one selected, we're going to go all the way down to our first moon, hold down shift and then click, and then we want to group all of these by hitting Control G, or go down to your folder icon and then click on that. And so now it looks a little more neat. We can double click on this and name this moon. And we can double click on this and name this, I'll name it Kiwi because I like your name. So from here, we're gonna click on our moon folder. We're gonna go to our adjustments. So right next to our rectangle with the circle, we're gonna see new adjustment layer. We're gonna click on that. We're gonna go to hue and saturation. We're gonna click on colorize, and what we want to do is we want to increase the saturation a little bit, and you could leave it at this is fine, but just choose whatever color you want by shifting the hue up here. Ooh, this looks really nice. And then click out of that. And now what we want to do is we're going to clip this to the moon. So we're going to right click on the hue and saturation. We're going to go down to clipping mask, click on that. And now it's only the moon that has that hue. We're going to go down to Kiwi or to your subject. Click on your folder. We're going to make a new adjustments layer. So click on your Oreo or this half white, half black circle. We're going to go up to exposure. We're going to decrease our exposure, or I think sometimes you have to increase your exposure just based on your photo, but for me I'm decreasing it to make it dark around the subject. Don't make it all the way black, just the slightest amount is fine. You want your gamma correction, I think it's fine. It's fine where it's at. And then from here we want to click on, give me a second. From here we want to click on the mask of that exposure of that adjustments layer. So click on this white box right next to the exposure. We're going to go to our brush tool. Everything should be set up. If it's not, then go up here to where you see the circle. Decrease the hardness to 0. Change the size to your liking. I'm going to make it kind of the size of her face. Just a little bit smaller. I'm going to change the flow. No, I'm going to keep the flow at 11%. Change your color to black. Press OK. And then just start erasing out the areas where it should be bright. So go like this. Go down here. And start erasing away. Start erasing away all the dark areas. So it should look something like this. Now from here we can go up to our hue saturation, right click on that, duplicate that, so duplicate layer, drag that copy down over exposure. So you don't want this to be clipped to your exposure, so we're going to right click because it looks weird. It's just the dark areas that are blue. So we're going to right click on that. We're going to go to the clipping mask. You don't want this to be checked. So now it looks like it's all blue, and we also don't want that. We just want it to be blue in the area of the cat. So we're going to go to our mask. So we're going to click on the mask of a hue saturation copy. We're going to go to our paint bucket tool. So right click on this gradient tool, click on the paint bucket tool, change your color to black, press OK, and then just click on the canvas, and everything should revert to its previous state. And from here we can just start coloring in the blue areas. So we're going to go back to our brush tool. This time we're going to change our black to a white. Make sure our black mask is selected. And we're just going to start coloring in the blue areas. And increase the size of my brush just a tad bit. And start hitting the areas where the light hits. Okay, so it should look something like this. Now to add a reflection in our subject's eyes, what we can do is we can just color in the moon in her eyes, or we can go to moon. I think we can we can duplicate layer. So go to our moon folder, duplicate layer. We can, I think we can flatten image. Oh shoot, no, don't flatten image. I think we can merge those layers. Yeah, we can merge those layers of that moon copy, that we just did. We're gonna bring that down under and over our kiwi layer. And then we can just place this in her eyes. So I'm just gonna hit Control Alt T. We're gonna scale this super small, very, very small, very tiny. To zoom in, you can press Control and plus, or Control minus. We can kind of fit this in our eyes. Make sure it's pointing the right way. Then we can duplicate that and then fit that one in her other eye. And we don't want these sharp edges, so we can just erase those. Go to your eraser tool, decrease the hardness, increase the size. Start erasing away. Go to your other one, erase. And we can change these to overlay. Or color dodge. Screen. Change these to overlay. Yeah, no, that's a little too light, so we're just gonna keep these at normal. And now it looks like the moon is reflecting off her eyes. So now what we want to do is, if you guys want extra credit, you guys can put particles around your moon. So to do that, we're going to create a new layer. We're going to go to our brush tool. We're going to hold down Alt and then click on our moon to select the color. Click on one of the brightest parts, and we can just sprinkle some dots all around our moon with our soft brush tool. Make it kind of random. If you guys want some closer lights, go to a new layer. Increase the hardness to around 90%. Increase your brush, and then you can start making some random lights. You can increase your flow just a little bit. And now we have some particles. And what we can do with these particles is we can blur them. So we go up to Filter, Blur. Can do Gaussian blur, but I'm going to do kind of a lens blur. Never mind, I don't know how to use a lens blur on this, so we're going to go to Filter, Blur, and let's see, let's do a radial blur maybe? That works. Okay. I'm going to decrease the amount. Never mind, this. Oh, this was making my computer so slow. Okay. I'm going to go to Filter, Blur, and Gaussian blur. I think that should be better. And I'm just going to hit OK. And now we have some particles flying around. And look at our little cat looking at our moon. Looks so cute. Okay. So that's how you do the glow assignment. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.